Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a video today on adding a aftermarket universal hitch to a standard Matryx rear bumper for a sled. This happens to be a 2022 Switchback Assault. The problem I ran into after snow checking this is once you get all your modifications and everything like that on it, if you ever do want to run a sleigh, which I got one in the background here, onto your sled to go ice fishing or do any type of trip, you really have to get an additional rear bumper from the manufacturer, which in Canada up here is upwards of $300. Then there's like another piece that's about $70 or $80 that interfaces onto it. That's kind of on a post that clicks in with a cotter pin. So you're looking at, like, after taxes and everything like that, about $400 for an additional rear bumper, which is ridiculous. So I wanted to do kind of like a homemade solution, came up with a bunch of different ideas, using a modified hinge, doing some welding fabrication. In the end, what I decided on was a universal hitch, and I really couldn't find anything that would suit this purpose until I came across this right here. You can see it's kind of bowed out here, which fits this bump perfect that's on the Matryx rear bumper. So what I'm going to try to do is modify this. It has to be cut up with like a disc grinder, and I'll show you what the work I have to do to it in a second. But I just have to like notch out a spot that will fit around this hard plastic snow flap area back here, but it shouldn't interfere with any of the hardware, and it would be a cheap and very durable aftermarket option. I'll put the link for this in the description of the video, where you can get this. I would try to stay away. The majority of the pieces like this they have flat fronts and backs to them, which is going to basically compress this hollow rear bumper. And the problem with that is that there's like cert nuts in here where a bunch of hardware screws in from underneath the tunnel and underneath the flap here at the back, and you don't want that to like wreck the integrity of all those other bolts that are relying on this as a piece of structure to screw into. So I opted for this option. I think it's going to work perfect, and it's going to be a good replacement if you guys wanted to not spend $400 on a brand new bumper, and spend $44 instead. So yeah, with that, I'll pause this video and I'll pick back up with what I got to do. So you can see what we have here is when this piece is going over top of the bumper, it's hitting the plastic right down here where it interfaces, and there's a bolt that comes through underneath. So the back piece of this metal bracket has to be notched out just on the inside of these two welded nuts that comes with this unit. So that's where we have to like measure here, get the angles right, measure the distance between the top of the inside of the bracket and the bottom here, so we know how deep our cuts have to come up on the inside of the backside of this bracket. So when we mount this, it's going to sit flush and level, and won't interfere with any of the bolts when we screw in on the front side here to clamp this all down together. So that's what I'm going to do, is mark this out, cut it with a disc grinder. We'll test fit it. If we have to do any adjustments, that's what we'll be doing. Right, so you can see right here I used a paint pen. I mocked up the area here. I didn't want any of this resting on top of this plastic. If there's any variations in the terrain as you're driving over, or bumps or anything, all this plastic stuff tends to get a little bit brittle, especially in colder weather. So I made sure to leave a little bit of clearance, so when this is cut out, there's going to be no pressure, downward pressure put on here, because I do not want to have to replace the flap after. So the next step is going to be notching this out as per the paint lines I put in, and then we will run a test fit and adjust as necessary. Alright guys, so you can see I test fitted it in here. The back fits perfectly, it's perfectly flush, but I did notice now on the front side, if you look at this profile view, you can see that it's perfectly lined up, but I need to now notch the front because this part right here is hitting the bottom, so I'm gonna have to come up, notch this piece out right here, so the bolts can still go through here and this can sit proper. I just test fit this. If you can see right here, what I did to both the cut ends have been treated and painted with Tremclad semi-gloss. So we're going to put this on here. I'm going to get it positioned level how I want. Then we're going to put in some thread locker and clamp this down where we want it, and then put the bolts through the front side here and get those all clamped and buttoned up there. So in the process of bolting this down, what I had forgotten to mention is, due to the angle of the rear bumper and the modifications that we're doing to sit this down, we're going to have to take a drill bit, and the inside right here of this bar, we're going to have to lightly drill out a clearance for the two bolts to go through here to clamp down on this bar that's here. So it's a very small, minimal amount that needs to come off. It's like, I want to say about 1/8 of an inch on the bottom side, that will allow us to put the last two bolts through here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. Since we got the top one set, we'll drill out kind of like a little pilot hole and hopefully fit that in no problem. Alright, so you guys can see right there that aluminum bottom of the bar. I just have to take off like a minuscule amount, about 1/8 of an inch. I'm not sure if you could see on that side. It's kind of difficult to reach around there, but you can see the holes are lined up now perfectly. So we could work on putting in those bolts and getting that cinched down. All right. So there's the final fit and finish. You could see how this lines up perfectly just by chance with this item I found online. You could see how the drawbar, the tab just hangs perfectly center. Looks perfectly professional, like it was meant to be. There's a top view of it. Alright folks, so you can see that's the final product here. It's a very solid, great option for, like I said, $44.99 I think I paid for it on Amazon. That's literally the perfect fit and finish to go on this OEM rear bumper for a Matryx chassis. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I saved you $300+. If anybody else wants to try and find an aftermarket hitch to kind of mod onto here without buying, you know, an additional specific hitch, or one of those like third-party aftermarket companies that manufactures rear bumpers for Matryx chassis and other types of chassis that are out there. So if you guys are looking for a perfect fit and finish, I'll leave the description of this particular hitch that I picked up in the description of the video, and hopefully this helps anybody else this winter sledding season and saves you guys some money. See you guys next time.